unfortunately, I have to eat more often than I have the desire to cook. Hi, happy Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving here in America, here in the United States. And I am just doing a really early get ready with me really quick so that I can get ready for the day. I don't usually wear makeup when I'm cooking the Thanksgiving meal all day long, but I did want to get some content up for you today for Thanksgiving in case, in case anybody is at home needing some entertainment or you just want something to play in the background. I figured, oh, why not grace your feed this morning? So I'm just gonna start off with a really light layer of this moisturizer. I didn't even use a full squeeze. And I'm just gonna buff that across the face. Mainly as a base to hold my other color products and just to even out my skin tone a little bit. And blur some of my freckles a tad bit, just a little bit. Not like actually trying to cover them up because that takes a lot of effort. So I'd love to know what it is, how it is that you spend your Thanksgiving. And if you're spending your Thanksgiving this year in a different manner than normal, then I'd love for you to share what your normal Thanksgiving is for you, or what your Thanksgiving plans are for today. I am cooking my 17th Thanksgiving meal in a row. And before that, I didn't even know how to cook. So I learned how to cook I started cooking by doing my first Thanksgiving meal. And surprisingly enough, that Thanksgiving meal, that very first one that I cooked, was really delicious. And I feel like that is what encouraged me to try to continue the tradition of me making the feast. And I actually really love cooking the Thanksgiving meal. I love making all the sides. I love doing the turkey. I love shopping for the ingredients and planning out the menu. And I just love spending the day cooking the meal. I don't know why that is, because I don't really love cooking all the rest of the time. I mean, I don't dislike it, and sometimes I do love it, but it's just not something that I want to do all the time. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I have to eat more often than I have the desire to cook. So, but I do get the desire to cook. And especially, I look forward to cooking the Thanksgiving meal. I actually look forward to it all year long. And, yeah, when the day passes, I'm not glad it's over or anything like that. I just kind of am like, oh, now I gotta wait till next year to make my next feast. So that's kind of funny. But, yeah, so today I'm going to just be doing a casual face of makeup. Am I even going to powder my face? I feel like I don't really feel the need to powder, so I might skip my Huda Beauty today and just keep a little bit. That's my dog. That's his sound of him. He just woke up. He's catching his breath for his morning sigh or whatever. Anyway, I might just keep the texture of my skin looking more like skin because this tinted moisturizer is real lightweight. So next I'm going to go in with my contour. Anyway, so I buy all organic ingredients, and that's why I like to make my turkey for the holiday, and I don't like to eat Thanksgiving anywhere else, not even ordering from a restaurant or whatever. I just yeah, I do organic ingredients, organic turkey, organic seasonings, and so because I know that the quality of the ingredients that I use is top notch, I feel really confident in having a lot of servings on Thanksgiving Day. And it doesn't like cause my body a lot of harm, which, you know, can happen with some places and Thanksgiving meals and stuff. So yeah, I am kind of carving out my cheeks. I know I said I was gonna do a natural makeup look, but I've just really been into this KVD palette. I love it so much. And some days I like a little bit more of a dramatic so anyway, yeah, I gotta go like pull out my, I've got like this sheet of like a cheat sheet that I made some time back, like one Thanksgiving back or whatever, where, hold on. Where I have the timeline of like when I need to start the turkey versus when I start all the other sides, and I have it all lined up like to where it will all come out at the same time. And like I have it kind of down to a science by now. And I think that's so funny because I've just never envisioned myself to be that kind of a person that like wanted to cook a Thanksgiving meal. If you would have told me before I got married that I was going to be the one making the Thanksgiving meal for my household every single year from that point forward, I would have thought you were crazy, because I never wanted to be a cook. Like I never wanted to know how to cook and to be the one cooking the meals for my family. I know why that is. I'll get into why in some other video one day, but yeah, so anyway. Okay, did a little bit of highlighting and contour. I know my lighting is really bad. I apologize about that. It's the best I can do for right now. Especially because the sun hasn't even come up. And so there's a lot of shadows everywhere because it's still really dark. And I've got my one ring light that I can't turn down. So I know that this is too bright. And I apologize about that. But that's why I've stopped doing eye looks, because I know my lighting is off right now. And it's annoying, not only to my viewers, but to me. So until I can get my lighting figured out, I'm just like kind of cutting back on making content, since I feel like it's pointless, because who wants to watch a video that's too dark except for like my true blues? So if you're here with me watching this video, even though that the lighting sucks, just know that I know you're one of my true blues and I appreciate you so much. All right, so maybe I'll also use the highlighter out of this palette too. So I thought about using a new palette today to create a look, but I just don't have the time to spend on like doing a full first impression and then also editing that and getting it up. I haven't officially stated that I'm doing Vlogmas for my channel, but I am doing a lot of uploads. I'm not gonna do like a Vlogmas upload every day because I just have too much going on in my life, and I feel like not enough people watch the videos for the amount of effort that it takes. So that's just not a priority for me this year. Last year, I really did enjoy doing it. Like the last couple of years that I did Vlogmas, I really did enjoy doing it. And that is because it helped me get into the flow of like regularly uploading on my channel. And I really needed to do that because I was very inconsistent before. And I feel like even though I don't have like a set upload schedule, and as many times as I've tried to create one, I cannot follow it for the life of me. Which is pretty funny considering my whole career was based off of meeting deadlines nonstop, including multiple conflicting deadlines and working that out on a daily. So The fact that I can't manage to maintain my YouTube upload, my proposed YouTube upload schedule is so funny to me, because I'm like, how was I ever that girl? I mean, I know how, but anyway, I just think it's funny that I can't get myself to follow a schedule. But it's because I know it's kind of arbitrary, you know? It's just something that would be nice. It's not like required by law, like the deadlines in trial cases are. So I feel like that really does impact my motivation or lack thereof. All right, I'm gonna do this. Might be, this one probably would have been nice to do under the eyes, but today I'm going to use this side of the brush for some blush, because it's nice and fluffy and a little bit dense, so that I can buff in this Baked Gelée formula, but it's small so that it won't overpower my cheek. What shade do I want to use? I think I'm going to use a combination of these two today. A lot of people, let me turn it the right way. A lot of people really complained about this packaging, but I think it's so beautiful, and it's so reminiscent of like makeup from eras gone by, that I remember seeing makeup in this shape on my grandmother's vanity, like in, honestly, it was probably the late 70s is how young I was when I remember seeing that, or maybe it was like the early 80s by then. But yeah, like I just think it's such a beautiful throwback and reminiscent of, you know, the past. I think it's really beautiful, especially because Bridgerton, I think, is supposed to be like a historical type of a show or whatever. I don't really know because I haven't watched it, but okay. Is there anything, I should have used this highlighter, but I remember this highlighter is really glittery, and I'm not trying to do all that today. Last but not least, I'm going to set my face. I mean, this isn't setting my face. I'm going to blur my face with my finishing powder. That's what I meant. I'm going to finish the look with my finishing powder. And I like to use the little hourglass brush. It's so hard for me to open these magnetic cases because the magnet is really strong, and I have dexterity issues that are still like, they're not as prevalent and prominent as they used to be. Prominent, I don't think that's quite the word for this situation. But anyways, they're not as prevalent as they used to be, but I do still struggle. I don't normally use this finishing powder on my nose because it is a little shiny, but and I try to avoid this little area here where I've got pores, but I completely forgot that today, so. Okay, that's what happens when I try to do my makeup when I'm still like half asleep. Okay, so for today's look, did I decide? Oh, I had pulled in this palette from my Shop My Stash, thinking that maybe I would use this face palette, like use the portion of these shades as a face palette, you know, like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like maybe touch into a little bit of this highlighter. Let me do that just for some fun. I need a, okay. I'm going to use this eyeshadow brush from the JH Morphe collection, and I think that the shade that I want to go with today is this slightly golden hue, because, I don't know, it's just giving me Thanksgiving vibes. Might be a little too yellow for me, but maybe not, since I have a yellow undertone. Maybe just in my mind, I thought I didn't like yellow highlighters, but maybe this will actually go really nicely with my yellow undertone. Because I am olive complected, but I have like a warm undertone. Okay, how's that? I definitely can see the golden hue, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'll have to wait to see how the whole face comes together once I've got everything done. as well as how the eye look turns out with that shade of highlighter. So I'm not going to use that golden shade on my nose or anywhere else because I just feel like it'll be too yellow. But okay, so I'm happy to at least have dipped into the palette again. So yeah, and I think I'm going to add this into my blush and highlighter bronzer drawer, even though this is kind of like an eyeshadow palette to me, so that I can remember to utilize this as a face palette in the future. And I'm very happy to have gotten a chance to use this palette again today. Not gotten the chance, taken the chance. Like I, you know, made myself use that today. All right, so for today's eye look, I pulled out a few palettes that I thought might be fun to, okay, wait. For today's eye look, I pulled out a few palettes that I thought might be fun to create a fall-inspired Thanksgiving vibes eyeshadow look. And these palettes I pulled from my recent eyeshadow palette Shop My Stash, which if you missed my recent eyeshadow palette Shop My Stash and you'd like to see which selection of palettes it is that I am choosing from today, to see like what all was in the running for today's chosen palettes, then be sure to check down below in the description box. I will leave that video for you there, as well as up here in the eye. So check that out when this video is over if you're interested. But I'm gonna pull out an oldie but a goodie, one that I haven't used in a while, but one that I always love to use during this time of the year, and that is none other than my Metropolis palette. I think I'm gonna create a little bit of a golden toned eye look today, maybe pop into some of the greens and the warm browns. I'm gonna stay away from the orange shades today just because, well, one, that's such a cliche Thanksgiving shade, but two, the last couple of Thanksgivings in a row here on my channel, I've created orange Thanksgiving looks. So for today, I'm going to do more of this, like, you know, mustardy yellow shade and some greens and golds with a little bit of brown, which honestly, I could have used my new Natasha Denona Golden palette to do that, but I wanted to dip into some of my makeup that I'm really thankful to have in my collection and that I miss using. So this is one of the palettes that I'm considering using today. And I really don't know what kind of a look that I want to go with, but in case I needed more mattes, because I feel like that palette doesn't offer a huge variety of mattes in some of the shades that I wish it did. So I also pulled in my Safari palette. This is what, oh, I almost dropped it. This is what my palette looks like. I feel like maybe some of these shades here might be fun to incorporate. Honestly though, hold on. Yeah, so I feel like this might make, right there for the thumbnail, right there, straight. Okay, let's hold them straight, Michelle, right there. I feel like this might make a really fun Thanksgiving eyeshadow look together. So these are the ones that I'm gonna pull in today. And then if I need like a little pop of black or something like that, I do also have my Natasha Denona Biba palette here. It's been a while since I played with this palette, and this is what my palette looks like now. So just in case I needed like this, you know, beige shade or the black or any of these other tones, I pulled this one in too. I think I'm gonna, ooh, I almost dropped my Metropolis palette, which wouldn't be the first time. When I first got my palette, thankfully I had already taken a photo of it by the time this happened, but literally right after I took the picture of my brand new Metropolis palette, guess what happened? That's right, I dropped it. I dropped it and all the shades, not all the shades, like half the shades fell out, and I was so worried that some were gonna shatter, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah, I don't know if my Metropolis is in the exact order that it's supposed to be, but I tried really, really hard to get all the shades back where they belonged. So Thankfully, I had a photo to compare, but there's a few shades that photograph like they're the same color, but their textures are a little different. And so because of that, I'm not exactly sure if my Metropolis is exactly how it's supposed to be. And so that was kind of messing with my OCD a little bit there for a while. And back before the Metropolis palette went away from the website, I was actually contemplating ordering a second one just so that I could have one that I knew would be perfect. What kept me from doing that was the price, of course, and the fact that I didn't even like warm tones at all at that time. I just knew that that palette was really popular, and I just knew that I was really intrigued by it and thought it was really beautiful. And I was super, super in love and like with Natasha Denona's formula, and I was so new to her formula at that time that, yeah, I just didn't buy a second one. But in hindsight, I wish I had purchased a second Metropolis palette, even though I haven't used this one a whole ton. I'm not sure why I feel that way, because that doesn't really make any sense. So anyways, I'm just gonna, let me just rearrange some stuff here now that I am finished with, well, I'm not completely finished with the face portion, but I'm ready to move to the eyes for a minute. So let me get my eyeshadow brushes in front of me. Okay. So there's still shades in this palette that I haven't used or have hardly used. Let's see, are there shades? Yeah, there are a couple of shades in here. There's actually, believe it or not, still a couple of shades that I haven't used in this palette yet. Specifically this shimmer right here, this like silvery shimmer there. So maybe I could incorporate that one today. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this really gorgeous grungy green over here. Oh, it's been so long since I have played with this palette. And I love all the cream to powder mattes in here. It's just such a beautiful formula to work with. And it's actually been so long since I've played with this palette that I'm curious to see how the formula holds up. And this might not have been the best brush to do my darkest shade with because it's a little bit bigger than I needed it to be. And so we're already starting off with a slightly dramatic shape, which is fine. But yeah, I might have maybe should have used a smaller brush. So I'll use a smaller brush here in a minute. Look at how beautifully pigmented these cream to powder mattes are. Oh my gosh, look at that. I just love Natasha Denona's formula. And I really, really love her OG, like cream to powder mattes. Okay, next I'm gonna go into this brighter green and just go kind of back over that and brighten that little area up a little bit, where I'm gonna start to go into like a yellow or something. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that shade. I love that already. Okay, this brush is really big though, and my face is getting itchy. Please tell me that my face isn't itching because my foundation is expired or something like that. Hopefully it's just these like little hairs flopping around hitting my face. Hold on. I should have, let me pull my hair back so that hopefully that like these little hairs right here that keep itching my cheek will stop. And if my face keeps itching after I have my hair pulled back, then it's definitely expired makeup and not little baby hairs. Yeah, see, it's this little hair right here that keeps flying down, hitting my cheek and tickling my face. That's the problem with like all these like new little gray hairs that are growing in, is that they're too small for me to keep them out of my face. They like hit my face when the wind blows and stuff. All right. Next, I'm going to, this Forever 13 might be too big actually. Hold on. I'm gonna take a more detailed like fat pencil. This is a Refer 12, is it? No, 28. And I'm gonna go into this yellowy corn maze color. I absolutely love these fall tones. I probably should have put this color down first so that I could have blended the green into it and not had this one little muddy spot where I just put the yellow over the green, like where the green is fading out, but I'm sure I'll be able to fix that with like a shimmer or something, so it's fine. But yeah, I should have started off with this yellow color here so that I could get the color really prominent. I just didn't know that that was the direction I was headed, so kind of hard to do that. Okay, with that same shade, I'm gonna just blend out this top outer edge slightly to bring that yellow around to make it look like it's underneath the green too. Okay, that's getting kind of like some grungy goodness. All right. I am going to be using one of my Melt Gel Pot liners for today's look, so be sure to stick around till the end if you'd like to see how I incorporate that into today's look. I'm not going to save that for my members only today because I had a special request from one of my subscribers to do a tutorial using those gel pots so that she can get some use out of her new gel pots, and so I'm really happy to do that for her. And because I love using them anyway, I should have gotten something to put my brushes in, like the ones that I'm using. Okay. I could do a gold shade on the lid. I could do... yeah, I'm gonna start off with... I'm going to start off with this gold satin that I've never touched. A lot of the golds are the shades that I've never used because I've only kind of more recently opened up to golds and yellows in my mind. Oops, that wasn't the one that I wanted. Okay, so this one's a lot brighter. So I'm going to put this one here in the inner corner because it's brighter than the one I meant to grab. It does have a little bit of a dark cast, but it also has like a beautiful sheen. I'm going to just smear that over into the mat up here. Does have the slightest bit of dark cast here, but that kind of just like contributes to the contouring effect of my nose, I feel like. Okay, now I'm going to go into the shade that I meant to go into, and that's this one. Let me turn the brush over. Here is how it picked up. Now keep in mind, I have had this palette for 4 years now. I got this palette for I got most of my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes for Black Friday sale 2020. So my palettes are officially 4 years old. I have noticed a little bit of change in the formula, nothing really dramatic. Like by now, other palettes from other brands 4 years in, I would not still be using them on my eyes. But Natasha Denona palettes, for the most part, I haven't had any problem with them. Once they age, they age really well. Okay, so that added a little bit of like a deep gold towards the eye, and I really like the way that looks. Next, I'm gonna do this bright shade here. Actually, no. Where's my other palette? I'm gonna go into the Biba palette and use this shimmer here. I have a ton of blenders and not that many shaders when it comes to, hold on, I'm not going to use this shade here. This one's too warm. I'm going to use this one. When it comes to my Fude brushes, I have a ton of blenders and not quite enough shaders in my supply, in my opinion. Okay, and I'm just gonna add that little pop of white right there. And so I do like how towards the inner area you see gold, but then it gets bright right there on the little like inner part of the eyelid, so that it opens up the eye some, but it still has the yellow as the inner corner. I feel like that's kind of fun, a little different than I normally do. And I'm happy to be getting more use from my Biba palette. Okay, just smear that right there, kind of make it like a little fake cut crease kind of a moment right there. Okay. Kind of got a little too carried away with that over into my matte. So I'm just gonna pat that back out. Try to blend that there. Okay. I'm gonna take a fluffy, not very dense blender and just soften all that together right there. Wow, that's a really fun, grungy, kind of goldy green look. Certainly not anything I thought I was gonna come up with today. Okay, I do want to, hold on, let me find the smallest little detailed blender that I have. Okay. I wanna take a little bit of, should I do a black deepening up shade or a brown? I feel like the brown will make it too muddy. I'm gonna tap in just a little bit to this black shade, just a little, excuse me. And I'm gonna just smoke this outer corner with a little bitty soft, teeny tiny hint of black. I'm not even sure that you can tell on the camera, but I can see it here in person, how that like anchored the outer corner of my eye. Yeah, see, I can see that little bit of smoke, the difference that it made, and I like that so much. I love using my Natasha Denona palettes. They're my favorite palettes in my whole collection by far. And that's literally the only reason why I signed up to get an affiliate code to offer you a discount, because I do talk about Natasha Denona palettes so very much, and they are kind of pricey. And if you're curious about trying to get one, I wanted to be able to offer you a little bit of a discount. So you can use my name, Michelle. I'll have that code here on the screen. Michelle, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E, that's Michelle, for a 15% off code from the Natasha Denona website. That will give you a 15% discount on your purchase. It is a one-time use code per person, so you know, you'd either have to create a different account to order again using that same code, or use a code from someone else after you've already used mine. Or if you've already used someone else's code, then you can use mine the next time that you need one. And so, yeah, that's how the codes work for Natasha Denona. But I love that little accent of black. I really think that that completed the top eye for me. Now I'm ready to do something on the lower lashes. Okay, I'm gonna dip out now of the Biba palette. Let's just check in the Safari palette and see if maybe there's like a matte that I might want to do a lower lash line color with. Do we want to add a little pop of orange, or no, because it'll just be like out of the blue kind of. Okay, I'm going to start off with this matte here on the lower lash line. It's a nice olive flat matte. It's just a plain, beautiful matte. I'm just gonna smoke my lower lash line out for the back half. Okay. Really, really like the way that looks. Now I want to dip back into my Metropolis palette and see if we can get some sort of like a fun shimmer towards the front part of the lower lash line. I don't want to do too bold of a green because that'll overtake the whole eye. And I don't really want to do the like grungy yellow shade there because I feel like that will just be too muddy. I'm going to use this shimmery shimmery olive green shade right there towards the front part of the lower lash line. And hopefully that's enough to like kind of keep it monochromatic, but also catch the iridescence of the light there in the front. I like the way that looks. Okay. And then for the last little bitty open section right there, let's do this. Oh, is that like a duochrome? Oh, whoa, I didn't even know that shade was there and that it did all that. Let's see what that is. Is that the one? Yeah, what is this shade? I'm gonna use some of this shade here that looks like it's kind of shifty or something. I didn't even know that shade was in here. Wow. Okay. I feel like that shade is a little lost there, so I definitely want to add a little bit of it to the top lid. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my finger. I've never used this shade like this, and I'm gonna just tap it over the top and just see what happens. I don't feel like it really did much, but maybe in like the sunlight or something, it'll catch a little fun sparkle of something. I don't know. Okay, so that's gonna do it for my Metropolis palette. Let me wipe my hands on my makeup eraser, my dry one. Now, for a little accent of something, this would be a great time to touch into my gold shades. These are the really special shades from my very first Natasha Denona gold palette. I pulled them out when I used a few of my original first palettes from Natasha Denona to create a custom palette. I think I'm gonna use this really crazy one right here, even though this one would probably go with today's look better. But yeah, I'm gonna, my finger is clean now because I wiped it off. So I'm gonna use that same one and just go in hard. Like I'm picking up a lot, okay? I'm gonna just wipe it there. I want a lot. Oh, look at that. Okay, I feel like you can't really see on the camera what that did, but here in person, that is really working for me. Oh my gosh. Really fun. And I love that I got a chance to use so many of my Natasha Denona older palettes to create today's look. So that's the eyeshadow all done. Now I'm going to do, I could either do this like yellow gold shade, which might be fun, or have a green one too. And since this look kind of went towards a green effect, hold on, I got something in my eye. I think a little flaky or something popped off into my eye, which is not ideal. I feel like a green eyeliner might be a lot of fun. So let me reach into that. Actually, before we do the eyeliner, I'm gonna finish off the look with this really yellowy golden brown shade of my e.l.f. Satino Lips. Love this color. It's like a pukey yellow brown. Perfect for these fall looks. Here's the shade name. I don't know if it's upside down or not. I'm going to use the coordinating lip liner from e.l.f. as well. Love. Top it off with my Buxom brown, like brownie type of lip gloss, just for a little bit of plump and shine. I miss the old lip applicators from Buxom. Like, it's been like 20 years or something since I had a Buxom lip gloss, but I remember the applicator used to be a little bit larger and I didn't used to have to dip in twice just to cover one lip. So, okay, now let's do the eyeliner. I feel like I'm gonna do a duo shade. I think I'm gonna do green towards the front and fade it off into the gold. So let me find some liner brushes. So there's two styles of liner brushes that you can choose from, okay? One of them, and this seems to be the most popular or the most readily accessible, are these really thin angled brushes. This one here is a Sonia Kashuk, okay? But you can get, like, any brand has them, any price range. And then here is one from Bobbi Brown. This is more of like, it looks like a shader brush. It's a really small, skinny, thin shader brush. It looks like a shader brush, but really this is perfect for eyeliner, okay? And so I like this to do a really nice, thin, detailed line. I like the angled ones to flick out a wing. So sometimes I'll use a combination of brushes and sometimes I can just use one. But honestly, the very best liner brushes are the ones that go straight and then angle a little bit, because you can go like this without having to get around your lashes. The brush itself just goes naturally around your lashes. And so I first learned how to do gel pot liner on that type of a brush. And I do still have like one or two in my collection, but I haven't used one in so long and I don't know where it is right now. So I just have these other more common ones, more readily accessible. And I apologize if you hear my dog over there sounding like a, sounding like The Walking Dead over there. He's trying to breathe, he just woke up. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with, the green, even though it's a really, really bright green, but I just feel like it will be a really nice detail for up against the yellow. The trick is to make sure you have an enlarged mirror so you can see really, really closely and well. And the other trick is to hold your breath. Oh, I got some on my thing. I forgot I opened the lid already. Okay. Trick is to hold your breath while you do it. You want to get a little bit on your brush. You don't want to overload it because it'll glop up onto your brush. So you just want to dip it in there a little bit. And then you can use the lid or a palette. Like, this brush doesn't pick up too much, but other ones do. You want to just like kind of tap it on both sides to flatten the product up against the bristles. And I'm going to try to zoom you in while I do this, okay? So pardon me that I got to look in my mirror, but you want to just pick a spot that you feel comfortable starting at. I like the front or the back. And you're going to just line the brush across your lashes. This is the best liner brush, this Bobbi Brown one. It is so, so good. I recommend picking yours up. If you're going to get this brush to do gel pot liners, I recommend picking your brush up at the cosmetic company store where you can get it for 50% off. And so you can get this $18 brush for half off if you can find it there. Otherwise, I did pay $18 for it. You know, you can, I forgot to flatten it out. If you don't flatten it out, do you see how like lumpy the product is on the brush when you dip into the little tub? So it's important to just flatten it out up against the lid like that so that you can get a nice flat line, as you can see the green over here. And you want to just stay close to your lashes and do small little strokes if you're not comfortable doing a big swipe. I like doing small little strokes so that I don't pull my eye skin too much as I'm going across the whole way. When I was younger, I used to be able to get away with just moving it all the way across, but my eye skin wasn't as loose as it is now. And so because I'm trying to be very delicate of my eye skin, I don't just swipe it all the way across, although you can do that. It's easier. But it's also easier to mess up the direction of your line like that. So when you do it in small little strokes, the trick is just to make sure that it's a smooth line once you've got it all pieced out. Okay. So there's the green part of the liner already done. Now I'm going to just wipe this off because I wish I had more of these types of brushes instead of the angled one, because this one's actually really good. It's too dirty though, it's got green on there, so I'm gonna have to get the other brush now, the angled one. And this one, I'm gonna go into the yellow gel pot. I almost forgot to flatten it. It's a very important step. As you can see, I've got remnants of where I flattened it in the past on the lid. Okay. Then you want to just blend it into the green like that. And these lighter shades are better visible on a dark shadow as opposed to my skin color, because it's just a little bit too close to the skin color for me. Okay. Not too sure how good those colors look mixed together. I think I liked the green by itself better. So I think what I'm going to do now is go back into the green and go underneath the yellow portion and just make it look like an intentional design. So hold on. That's cool. Okay. Maybe the look went off with the liner a little bit. Like I might have lost the vibe of it, but it does look a little creative and fun. So I'm just gonna go with it. Now I'm gonna do my brown liner on the lower lash line just to anchor my lashes, and then I'll add some mascara. And I'm gonna add a little bit of brown liner along the lash line of the lower lashes and add some mascara, and I'll be right back to show you the completed look. Here is the finished look of the day, playing with my Metropolis, Safari, and Biba palettes today. Let me give you a close-up of the eyes. Let's take a look at the whole vibe from afar. So yeah, let me know what you think of the look down below. Let me know what you think of the eyeliner, how it like skips a beat and incorporates a different shade. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the look down below, so I look forward to reading your comments there. And that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're watching this video when it went up live, on the day that it went up on my, if you're watching this video on the day that it posted on my channel, I just wanna wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful that you're here with me on my channel and that you spend some time watching my videos and hanging out with me and incorporating, and including me in your life. It really does mean so much to me. And I hope that you are happy and healthy and full of delicious food in your belly, and that you have a heart full of happiness and gratitude on this beautiful Thanksgiving day. So just remember, things can always be worse, so be sure to count your blessings and be thankful for everything that you have, including your trials and tribulations, because they shape us and mold us into being a better person. So that's gonna do it for today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, I would love if you would take a moment to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you click the subscribe button before you go and click the notification bell to all so you don't miss any of my videos. Remember, it is absolutely free to subscribe to me, so subscribe to my channel down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!